Good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget, you can find the posts on the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. I have Doug McGee with me right now, and he's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. And Doug, who is the cuteness overload there?
To be honest, I don't know. It's just when I walked in the shelter this morning, this little bundle of joy was right there walking around, happy as could be, but I don't know who it is.
Are you kidding me? Who could have deserted this sweet thing?
Oh, yeah. I don't know who. I couldn't tell you who it is. I would say she's something to do with, super sweet. Yeah, I saw her. I thought she's a cute one to be.
And looks healthy. Look how happy.
Oh, she is. She hears Teresa in there rooting around. I'm going to set her down. She said, I'm a chunky little girl.
Now, this dog is in a mix. What kind of dog is it?
I don't know. Like I said, I walked in earlier and she was here, and I'm just kind of like, well.
Well, she's a happy one.
There you go, big girl. I don't know.
But you know something, Doug? I've been to the shelter and a couple of times, and I'm going to have to tell you some of the cutest things I have ever seen. And they just want love. They want a home.
That's it. That one right there apparently wants a treat because she heard Teresa in there in the other part of the building. So, yeah, I think she's probably wanting a treat. That's what if you come out here to volunteer visit, that's what you're going to come across. You'll see just like we do. Who knows? I have no idea anything about that dog.
Well, I'm going to have to tell you, Phil gave me my instructions. And it was so funny when I went out there to volunteer, and Phil said, "No, you can't take every dog home. You know that."
Yeah, a lot of people think that that's going to be a problem, but we'll make sure, if you have that tendency, we'll nip it in the bud. We won't let somebody take dogs home that they can't take care of, because that's what happens. You come out here, and a lot of times you'll just find that dog that just connects with you, and you're just thinking, I'm going to take that dog. And then we would let most people take a dog home, but if we keep coming back wanting to take every dog, then, we'll have to pump the brakes on it a little bit, because it's easy. It's very easy to find a dog. The other day, somebody showed up with a pickup truck with a dog tied up in the back of the pickup truck. They said he's showing up as a stray in Etowah County. Mm-hmm. And I knew if they took that dog, big dog, and I thought if they take that dog home, I could tell by their mentality that they were either going to kill it, throw it out somewhere else, or that was not going to do well for the dog. Even though we're full, I just fell in love with that dog. And I told the workers here, I said, get it. If we can't find a place for it, take it up here to my house and put it in our backyard for now, and I'll deal with it. But I said, I can't let that dog leave here knowing that if it does leave here and we don't take it, it's not going to end well for the dog. It was just a precious, big dog, so precious of a dog. And right now, we did find a place at the shelter, but that's the kind of dog I would have taken home for sure. Just super sweet. First thing to do is roll over and want to rub her belly, and just my kind of dog. But I have enough sense to know not to take it home unless if I knew the dog was going to be injured or hurt, I would have taken it home. But right now, it's at the shelter. So.
Well, let me ask you a question. And these are people that maybe they want a pet, they want an animal. Maybe it's a divorce has left them by themselves, or maybe there's been a death in the family or something like that, and they want the companionship of an animal. This is a great resource. You can come out there, and you got plenty of dogs to choose from.
That's it, and it's been proven in so many psychological studies and all that having an animal benefits both the person and the animal. People who have pets live longer. People who have pets live happier. There's just so many benefits, especially if somebody's by themselves and kind of a lonely person. I mean, dogs can make all the difference in the world. People with stress and anxiety and all those things. Dogs can be so beneficial. Mm-hmm. There are people that it might add stress to their life having a pet to take care of, but for the most part, as humans, we need. Companionship of animals is very important and very healthy.
Mhm. Absolutely. And say maybe you're in an apartment and maybe there's a restriction. You can't have a pet. You can still come out to the shelter and volunteer and maybe walk a pet, right?
That's right. There's a lot of people that would do that. Where they live, a lot of apartments, 30 pounds seems to be the weight limit. They won't allow any animal above 30 pounds, and you have to pay pet deposits and all those things a lot of people can't afford.
Yeah.
But if you do like animals, you can come out here and, I mean, your volunteering effort could be just as small or as big as you want, but you might come out here and just find a kennel, sit in there with a dog and pet a dog for 15, 20 minutes. That could be, the dog's going to win, you're going to win. It's just, don't have to be to consume you, but come out here and spend just a little time, and you may find it's just real rewarding, very rewarding to you.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I thought about too, like my son Brad is an only child, and of course he always had a pet, but some kids just don't have pets. Wouldn't this be a good way to teach your kids responsibility? Just come out, parents, be with the kids. Now you can't just dump your kids off, but you have to be there with them and just teach them a little bit about responsibility and about caring for something else.
And that also goes, summertime would be a great time for fostering. You want, your kid's been wanting a pet and you're not sure that they're old enough, mature enough to handle it. So it's summer. So say, hey, we're going to foster a dog for 2 weeks or 1 week or a weekend, whatever you want to do. A time limit doesn't matter. But bring that dog in and tell your child, say, for the next 2 weeks or whatever time you're prepared to come up with, your responsibility is feeding and watering the dog. If there happens to be an accident in the house, good time to grow up and get over it. You're going to have to clean up the poop if there's poop in the house, but you can kind of judge and see. Your kid might take the dog home and 15 minutes later he's leaving the dog and not neglecting it. Well, that might be a big sign for you. I think that fostering during the summer will be a good way to see if your child is mature enough, responsible enough to handle a pet. So for 2 weeks, and if at the end of the 2 weeks it works out, then you can make a permanent commitment and of course adopt a dog. So try it.
It's the best thing to do because Brad learned responsibility. And then I tell him, he just begged for a dog. He just begged. And so I let him have a dog and I let him have a cat. And I just really think I told him, I said, now, if you have a pet, you're the sole responsibility for this pet. And he was really good at it.
When I was growing up, we lived in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I was about 8 years old. And as a kid, I wanted to start a zoo. That was just my dream. And I wrote a letter to the Winfield Dunn, who was the governor of Tennessee at the time, telling him my dream. I'm a 7, 8 year old kid. So anyway, one of his staff members wrote me a letter back saying, if you want to start a zoo, here's a start. If whatever pets you have, make an agreement with your parents that for a certain amount of time, I'll take care of them. If at the end of that time, I've done what I'm supposed to do, then my parents agree, almost like a contract, but my parents agreed to go buy my first zoo animals. And I did it. It was like 3 months. I fed and watered, cleaned up after our dog. We had a dog and 2 cats. I took care of them. When time came up, I'd done a good job. And we went to the pet store, and chinchillas is what my dad, and my first zoo animals were going to be chinchillas for my zoo. I was going to buy, and Dad had a heart attack when he caught how much they cost. Back in the 60s, they were like $20 a piece. So we, Dad kind of sweet talked me into taking a couple of hamsters for $1 a piece. And my first zoo animals were hamsters. I mean, that's that. And of course, that was the extent of my zoo, is couple of hamsters, which turned into a bunch of hamsters because we didn't know we had a male and a female. They taught me lessons too. So, it's just one of those things. That was my first experience, but I got those hamsters because I had agreed to take care of our pets that we had then, which was a dog and 2 cats. Good responsibility thing. Tell your kids, hey, we're going to foster a dog for 2 weeks. We'll bring one of the shelter dogs here. It's your responsibility. I want them walked every day. I want them fed, watered. If they do, like they have an accident, if they poop in the yard, you're going to have to go out there and I don't want poop in my yard, so go clean it up. See how it works out. You might really your kid may learn some responsibility. You may learn something about your child and their ability to handle a pet. So
I think we need that more these days. I think kids need to learn responsibility, and it starts with the parents.
That's it. Absolutely. it's just, animals are so good for us. A lot of people, I think they're missing out. If they don't have a companion animal or some kind of that animal in their life, I think they're missing out.
I just really do. So let's talk a little bit before we go into break, and then we may finish off the segment with this. And I'm seeing a lot of dogs, and I'm seeing a lot of puppies just left, where people are not having their pets spayed and neutered. Now I'm talking about dogs, cats, basically any kind of a pet. If you don't want it to populate, you need to get it fixed. It's not that expensive, is it?
It's really not. Like we were coming through Huntsville, and they have a big billboard on Highway 431 talking about spay and neuter $5. So it's not that expensive. And if you're needing this help, you can find an outlet. You can search around, call your local veterinarians and ask them if they have spay neuter assist funds or whatever. And a lot of them do. Of course, number one, shop around. For every veterinarian, there's a different price on spay and neutering. It costs anywhere from, could be $50, but could be $5 if you get that kind of network, but it could be hundreds. So shop around. I really recommend that on people on a budget. Once again, if you got millions of dollars, just go get it done. No, it's not very expensive, and it's cheaper. A spay and neuter operation can keep you from having the expense of raising puppies, all that entails. So it's a smart thing to do. We have one of the things I've discovered, a lot of the overpopulation is not from people who are the normal person, but there's people who don't care. That's the ones we got to go after, is the people who could care less if their dog has puppies because they don't care about the puppies. They just let them run loose, and that's the element of people we got to force to act right.
But now some people will go ahead and have the female fixed, but they don't worry about their male dog. He needs to be fixed too.
They do, and think about the logic of that. One male dog can get a whole lot of female dogs pregnant. So if you take care of that male dog, you eliminate a lot of that risk. It's kind of like male dogs can just go from a bunch of different females. I would rather see a male dog fixed than a female because it's not as intrusive. When a male dog gets neutered, they don't even know it. Most, they're pretty much, hey, it's just done. So it's not as intrusive as surgery. And once again, one male can cause a whole lot of pregnancy to a whole lot of female dogs. So get your male dogs fixed. And I know I've heard it. I've heard people come out here and say it. Oh, but that takes the fight out of them. No, that makes them where they won't be. It doesn't. It may take some fight out of them, but why do you want a dog that's going to fight anyways? Don't you want your dog to be a pet? I get it.
True.
But there's a lot of people feel like, I've heard people say, oh, if I get a female dog fixed, she'll just be fat and lazy. I don't think that's,
Yeah, I don't think it's true. And I wanted to say this about Buddy. Of course, we had this done when he was a puppy. He was back playing with his chew toys and stuff that afternoon.
Oh,
Didn't seem to affect him at all.
I think most male dogs, they get it done, and they don't realize it's like, well, I'm just light. I don't weigh as much as I do.
Is it not healthier for the animal to be fixed as well?
Absolutely. I know the risk of cancer, and I really wish I knew more types, but the risk of cancer for females and male dogs drops dramatically once they're fixed. And just like male dogs will fight other male dogs. If there's two unneutered males or around a female that's in season, they'll fight. Well, that don't happen. They don't have there's no point anymore. So, and then I know that there's still people who feel like it's not the thing to do, but it's 2023. Those arguments should have been gone 50 years ago. It is a very good practice to get your dogs, male and female, spayed or neutered, because otherwise we can't keep up with, people cannot keep up with the population of dogs if dogs were not fixed. Dogs will multiply a lot faster. So you're eliminating that need to have to kill a bunch of dogs.
Absolutely. Doug, we're a little bit past the time to go into a commercial break. We do this every time. I love my shows with Doug McGee, Second Chance Animal Shelter. Let's go into a break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. Abundance Television is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, netsnewsnetwork.net. We're syndicated there as well. Doug McGee is with me, and he's with Second Chance Animal Shelter. Doug and Wanda, you guys are just wonderful for the community. Thank you so much for everything you do.
I appreciate you saying that. When we're just trying to make the world better. I mean, bottom line, it's just we're trying to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. And I know you definitely are. Let's talk for just a few minutes about it's getting hot outside. I mean, we got that Alabama balmy weather, and folks are watching from all over the country and all over the world, basically. Anyway, how do you keep an animal if you must keep it outside? How do you keep it cool?
Main thing is shade. I mean, a dog, of course, a lot of people have porches and dogs live under the porch or something like that. Mm-hmm. Provide them shade. Not many people nowadays, at least, chain their dogs up, but nothing breaks your heart than seeing a dog staked out to something and not have a dog, no shade at all. I mean, that would be a miserable existence. Provide shade, whether it be a canopy or a building with something they can get under to keep cool. Water, definitely keep your animals hydrated. Fresh water on a regular basis. Every time you go out, check their water bowl. Get in the habit of doing that. Make sure they got fresh water. And a lot of times people put their water in something that flips over. So if you can, secure it. Like if you got a bucket that you put water in, somehow secure it so it can't be flipped over as easy. Because once again, it would be a miserable life to be chained up, knock your water ball over, and know you're not going to get water until the next day when it's 100 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. That would be it's cruel, and people are better than that. Everybody should be better than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no, you can at Walmart and some of the other department stores, you can find these. It's this great big huge thing. I think it's about 5 gallons or something like that, and gravity works with it. And what happens is water seeps out of it. We've got it for the chickens too. And that way it's a little more fresh. If your dog has a tendency to dirty up the water, it's going to stay fresher.
Yeah, and they will. Dogs will play in their water, dump their water, and everything else in their water. But those watering things like that really are a good idea if you can afford something like that. The kiddie pools, we were talking about that. If you get a kiddie pool and fill it with water, the dogs will drink out of it. Of course, it also gives them a chance to get in there and roll around and stay cool. So that's a good idea. Just make sure they have access to water, access to shade. Food is important, but dogs will eat less in the summertime. So food is actually declines because dogs are just like people. I don't think I eat as much in the summertime as I do in the winter. Mm-hmm. So, but keep that Alabama 100-degree heat. Dogs need fresh water, cool water, and a place to stay that's shady, or at least out of the sun.
Now, I know you guys have kiddie pools for your dogs at the Second Chance Animal Shelter. Does every dog have one? Does the folks need to go ahead and donate those?
We need more because we try to put one in every kennel, and 99% of the dogs love them. There's some dogs that don't pay much attention to them, some of the older dogs. But, we put they're probably about 3.5 feet across, little kiddie wading pools, and we put them in there. Every dog got one. And some of them the dogs really love them. Probably right now, half the dogs are laying in them. Just like a swimming pool. They enjoy it. So that's a really good way to keep the dogs cool. It's just a good thing. So, but we need more. They tend to get broke sometimes. Dogs will roll around or chew on them. So we always need replacements. So if you've got one or can get access to some, we don't need the great big ones. We just need the ones 3.5 feet across. And we'd love to have them. We've got some we got picked up Saturday, so we'll be putting them out today, but there will always be a need for more.
Mm-hmm. Always. Now, the only thing about the inflatable ones is, again, sharp claws. You're going to...
Yeah, inflatable ones, not so much. We need just the hard plastic ones, the solid plastic ones. They're not, the kind that's the ones we need. And dollar stores sell them. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Oh, but no, don't get one that has to be blown up or inflatable. Because that won't last.
It won't last long at all. Now, there's a publication you guys send out every month. It's called the Second Chance Barker. And cuteness overload with those dogs there too. I'm telling you. But now there's a wish list back here, and we just talked about the small kiddie pools. You need those, and you guys also need leashes. Is that correct?
Leashes, because a lot of people come here and they want to adopt a dog, but they don't think to bring a leash or collar. And we've got them. And the more, if we've got them, that way they don't have to worry about going right out and buy them. Adopt a dog from us. If you don't have a leash or collar that you really like, don't worry about it. We will provide you one. Anything, we get things like that donated all the time, but it travels through here quick. So, we always need to resupply. We adopt 100 dogs a month out. That's 100 leashes or potentially 100 leashes or collars that go out too. That's so right. We need them.
And then also canned dog food. And I'm saying pedigree, Purina puppy, or dog food. Yeah, because you can't feed a grown dog puppy food, can you? Or can you feed a puppy dog food?
You can, but puppy food has more nutrients in it. And we try to feed any dog under 6 months old. We try to put them on puppy food because it does have vitamins and minerals and all that they need more. As they get older, they can handle things better. And then we go to dog food. But if it's under 6 months old, we try to give them puppy chow because it really helps them get a good start. It's just more nutritionally based on what a puppy needs. Canned food, the reason we need that is sometimes the dog will be sick and the only thing they'll eat would be canned food. If they just can't handle dry food. We don't go through a lot of canned food, but we need it. And it's gotten so expensive. Yeah. Used to, it was like 59 cents a can, and now it's almost $2 a can. So we definitely need a good supply of canned dog food. When a dog does get sick, you want to keep them fed and where they'll eat. But sometimes that's all they'll eat is something that smells good and soft to eat, canned food.
Absolutely, especially if it's an older dog, maybe it has bad teeth.
Oh, yeah, and we get that a lot. We got a dog in a couple of weeks ago that the owner died or something. Their son got it, and he punched the dog and knocked his teeth out, his front teeth. And then we ended up getting, because somebody took it away, you got it away from him. So that dog didn't have a tooth on the right-hand side because the owner, I'm trying to be nice here. I'm have to get my brain, got mad at it and punched it and knocked his tooth out with his fist.
That's insane. That's totally insane. Now, you guys could also use treats for the dog too.
Absolutely, because the treats went on the other side of the teeth. The treats are very good for their teeth. Milk bones is probably the most common treat, and the dogs love them, and that kind of thing really is good to remove tartar from their teeth. And also, we need milk bones. And if you hear 300 dogs, that's a lot of milk bones. So that's something, if you buy them, a lot of times they'll come in a great big box, but they don't last long. And the dogs do really enjoy their treats.
They love that. Also, paper towels, cleaning supplies, bleach, laundry detergents, and puppy pads. You need those too.
Yeah, because the puppy pads here in our office, we always have 1 or 2 dogs running loose. Like that dog that had his teeth knocked out, she pretty much stayed here. She finally got adopted, but she stayed in the office because she was like a Shih Tzu kind of mix, smaller dog. The dog I held up early, it's running loose in the office. So pee pads help on that end, and the paper towels and stuff. We're always cleaning something. A lot of times we use something other than paper towels, but they're very convenient. Spray, laundry detergent. We wash blankets all the time, blankets and towels and stuff. So we need laundry detergent. If you can clean with it, it's something that we need. So if you got it, we'll take it.
Absolutely. I would think like little wipes, the little moistened wipes might be good to have around as well.
Constantly, and normally we go to Sam's Club or somewhere and pick them up. But if you can get them for us, we can use our resources for other things. You have the little handy wipes thing. Always. Antibacterial hand soap, because people go and pet dogs and then they come in and all of a sudden they're smelling their hands because it smells. Yeah, you get that. Some people just can't handle it. I don't even pay attention to it. But so stuff like that, the little stuff to wash your hands with not hand soap, but the hand sanitizer. Bottles of that. If it's anything to do with sanitation or cleanliness, if you'll bring it, we'll use it.
Absolutely. Doug, thank you so much for being on the show. Can you believe 30 minutes has just flown by?
It does. It's faster than lightning around, and it just goes quick, but I love every minute of it.
Absolutely. I do too. Thank you so much, Doug. And thank you for watching The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television. We are syndicated, found on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, netnewsnetwork.net. We'll see you in just a few minutes with another awesome guest.